the 18th or 19th. This is the chart from the day that Kim had his procedure. Now, I just drew a 12 o'clock chart because I don't know what time he had his procedure in Pyongyang. This is telling you guys are going to see it right off the bat. The sun that day was 22 degrees, 40 minutes, Aries. An exact square to the Saturn-Pluto conjunction of January 12th, 2020, which was riding on eclipse energies. The midheaven here is Aries 12. Make note of that. But notice, he had this procedure. We're squaring the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is an eclipse click because it's riding on eclipse energies as well. And the sun, the condition of the dear leader, is in square to Mars. It is also in square to Saturn. Saturn is life-taking. Also in square to Pallas Athena, Wonder Woman. Chairman Kim has a lot of female energy around him. I find it interesting. And also very reclusive. A Sun-Saturn square, oftentimes life-taking. If you look at Chairman Kim's chart, his natal Pluto squares this transit Saturn exactly in Scorpio. And it is opposite, since we're talking about eclipse weather, 1 degree Leo, which was where Mercury and Mars were on the July 2nd and July 16th eclipses. The other reason why Saturn-Pluto gets hooked into this is because the moon on this day that he had this procedure was 17 degrees Sagittarius. At the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, the moon was exactly 17 degrees Leo. So that's a strong trine that pulls in this energy like a vortex, and there's no escaping it. Remember, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction we haven't had in like 5,000 years, with all these extra planets like Uranus in Taurus, add Jupiter. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction is about the transformation of power and structure with world governments. And this first click of transforming power and governments worldwide started actually on this April 12th because it's the first time that the transit sun was an exact square to that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. If he survived the procedure, April 12th, and they were able to stabilize him, I think that this third quarter moon, April 15th, is what did him in. Show you. This is a solar map from the third quarter moon. Even though he had a procedure like on the 12th, I feel like this April 15th, this third quarter moon, which is what did it in for him. If you look here, this is East Asia. You will see at the top here we have things like IC, actually that's the lower heaven, AS, ascendant, IC, that means the lower heaven, the bottom of the chart, MC, the top of the chart. So these are the planetary lines over the Earth when we had that third quarter moon. If you look closely here, Pyongyang has a red line going over it and a green line crossing it. They're in square. This red line going over Pyongyang, that is Mars. That's like the strike from above I was just talking about. The green line that's crossing it on the ascendant, that is Venus. Venus and Mars are in square. They're crossing one another. Remember, Venus was at the mercy of the chart. Venus has to do with Venus circulation, the return circulation back to the heart. It's compromised. That also, Venus also has to do with the kidneys. It has to do with and the kidneys as it relates to blood pressure. Remember, at the top of the chart, we have the sign Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, which has to do with circulation and sudden shocking things happen. So right at the third quarter moon, this was the energy that was crossing over the skies of Pyongyang and North Korea and is cemented there until the next lunation. I don't think he's alive. I really don't. Or he is severely disabled, compromised, damaged. I don't know how he resumes to even half of his functioning before. I feel like there's brain damage in there. And there's a lot of notes on this. This is the birth chart, I believe, is Kim Jong Un, because he lines up with so many events, particularly with Donald, especially since we saw in that third quarter moon chart that his partnerships were central to the North Node in his destiny, which had to do with his income and money with Donald. Well, if you look at this chart here, this is what I think it is. I think his rising degree, he was in Aries, 24 degrees, 52 minutes. And the reason why is because, first of all, the 24 degree mark, you know, that's the can opener mark from the July 16 full moon eclipse. The other thing that's been personally bugging me for the past week is that Pluto has been hanging out at 24 degrees Capricorn, 57, 58, 59 minutes for like a week because it's getting ready to retrograde. Kim Jong Un started having his health problems once that we know of, supposedly, once Pluto got to the later 24 degree, 55, 56, 58, 59 minutes. I think it's more. And that is when Pluto finally has been in square for months. It's been holding at this 24 degree mark. And when it went to like the 57, 58, 59 minute mark for all of last week, it crossed over the ascendant. Remember, the first house has to do with health and the condition of the body. And this is why I think this is his rising sign, Aries, 24 degrees. Oh my God, there he goes again. You guys, he keeps running around on his white horse like a reckless kid, like woohoo, like he's going to go to some big frat party. He's free. He hates North Korea. He's just done. He's just wants to go into better things. He's so done, and he's like laughing because he screwed everybody else. He and Donald have a lot of things in common with their charts. Oh my God. They have so much in common. This is just going to take too long. There's Donald's ascendant on the 6th house cusp with the expression of his sun. Okay, I'm not even going to get into all this, but trust me, so much going on in this chart. I don't know how he's... Oh, one last one. His sun was at 17 degrees Capricorn. If you recall earlier how important Capricorn was in the chart, in the reading I did. 17 degrees Capricorn. If his income is coming from overseas, representing Venus, gains, love, harmony, friendship. When we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction over Washington, D.C., the midheaven was 17 degrees Capricorn. That's Kim Jong Un's sun sign. My hypothesis is that whatever procedure he had that was routine, with Mars striking over the midheaven, caused a sudden, unexpected problem with circulation, and that probably some of his organs were deprived of oxygen. Look at his 8th house of life and death. Venus in Sagittarius, having to do with Venus circulation. As this rotates, Venus always leads Uranus. It's conjunct Uranus. sudden circulatory problems. It lines up with the third quarter moon that I just did. So that's that. It'll be a miracle if this guy is up and walking around in who he was, because everyone I've checked in with, from the cabinet to the campaign to the Six Wands mob, they're all saying either he's dead or they don't really care and they have to change their plans. But consensus is that he had like a stroke or something, he's incapacitated, or he's dead, or he's a vegetable, but they all have to change their plans. Okay, that's that. Talk to you soon. Bye.